One day, Africans will come to the true realization that there was never anything like independence in Africa. The thing we call independence today in Africa is Western jamboree on how to run Africa from what physics called action from a distance. Action from a distance is how to control an object without physically touching it. And so white man began to design how do we control these people without needing a white man to be in their land. Action from a distance. For instance, I kept this power bank here, and then through magnetic force, I can be drawing this power bank. You may not see the hand of a man controlling this, but through the force I'm acting on it, the force is still imparting it. Action from a distance. So the thing we called independence in Africa is Western aggrandizement to control Africa from a distance. Now the white man entered into African countries and built structures with the intent of exerting a leadership that was built to exploit the people. And when they see the people crying for revolution, what they did was that they trained the indigenous people to reoccupy the same institutions, the same structure they built for manipulating them. So the exact place that was built for the governance system, which was once occupied by Frederick Lord Lugard, they left, and another man, one young man, through their system of democracy, reoccupied that system. Because democracy is Western weapon to elect the desired idiots, officials to rule Africa. Because Africans is not a place where one man is arrogated the sense of controlling over 200 million people. In Africa, we practice communist party of government, where selected number of elders lead, or monarchy, such as it is today in China, or such as it is today in Saudi Arabia. Kings are trained from the day they are born, so the energy of leadership falls upon them. Go and ask how Oba of Benin is selected. The day the Oba, that the person that will succeed Oba is born, automatically from that day he is separated from his father and cooked. There is a level of preparation that is done to a man who will become king. So when the man comes out, he becomes almost immortal. That is the system of governance we have. And again, the system of Nzenozo, where selected elders rule. We don't fight to select a king. When we need to fight to select a king, bad people will always be elected to arrogate the sense of over millions of people for the purpose of bringing the Western colonialist ideology. So democracy in Africa is Western institutionalized governments to elect rejected Africans as their leader upon us. So African problem is not our leaders. African problem is the Western planted democracy. Second, when you look at the Western education, the educational system that was designed in Africa by the colonialists was meant to give us memory and destroy functional knowledge. Because they know if we begin to gain functional knowledge, we will explore the enormous raw materials around us. When they want to leave, they train our brothers and our sisters, give them titles, lawyers, professor, doctor, so they reoccupy the institutions and continue to teach us rubbish that we cannot apply in any system of life. So you graduate and the first book you write is, I beg to apply. Why do you beg to apply if you go to read a 4 years course or a 5 years course? Meanwhile, somebody going to serve Boying and after 5 years, he didn't beg anybody to apply. He came out and become automatically self-employed. The Western education system was still among us. The system of police they implanted in Africa was the system of police that follows government officials, colonialist officials, and then subjugate the people and deny the people self-defense. When they want to leave, they trained our brothers as policemen to protect their colonialist officials. So in Africa, you still see police following individuals. You never see police follow anybody in England, in America, in Texas. Footballers walk without police. But you come to Africa, because the police is colonialist police, it still follows individuals around. My heart is broken. The same way you see their court system, the things we call judiciary today. Can I stand up to that and tell you that those judicial on its own is criminality? Laws are actually formed for a people. There is nothing like one law to govern everybody. Laws is cultural specific base. You don't get law of monkey and begin to use it to judge the elephant. Otherwise, the elephant will become stupid. You make laws in England and use the law to judge a man today from Ogoka and tells the man that all land belongs to government. From what point did all land belong to government in our culture? In our culture, land don't belong to government. Land belongs to the community men. How did land belong to government today? Because colonialists came with the ideology of thieving the whole land. So they instead a government that automatically continues that ideology. You have issue with your wife today. Your wife is going to take you to court. The criminal you called your brother who studied lawyer is going to come there and quote for you the laws that will say divide your property into two, give your wife one and take one. You are asking the man, where did this law came from? He said that is how it is done in England. Sir, we're not in England, we are in Africa. He says, I'm a custodian. I'm a custodian of this governance I was put there. A man called George Orwell was understanding the contextual analysis I'm giving today. And the man began to write a book he called Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a book George Orwell used to illustrate how Africans were being governed from action from a distance. The jamboree we call independence today are not independence. The day we get independence, the principle began. Destroy democracy. Destroy democracy. An idiot who has been a thief, an idiot who has been a drug lord, an idiot who has been destroying people, committing all kind of evil. And then after 4 years, the person run and you renew him to become your leader who was never prepared to be a leader in the first place. In Africa, we are not people who fight to select a leader. If we need to fight to select a leader, automatically the bad people among us will continue to rule. That was why when election period starts coming, you hear them saying, come to London to come and do interview. Come to Chatham houses. The other people goes to France to come and do interview. Is there anybody in America who comes to Africa to come and do interview to be elected as a president? No, sir. Democracy is the system of governance because they are designed to fight. When Trump was speaking on the stage, bullets began to fly beside his ear. People want to kill him. Even though the bullets cut his ear and he was bleeding, Trump was shouting, fight, fight. We are designed to fight. We are born to fight. Fighting is our DNA. We fight. We colonize nation. An African man don't fight to select a leader. An African man in Africa, kings are not contended for. Kings are born. Hi, come to our WhatsApp school. Let us tell you where our problem starts from, so we can begin to make possible change. Destroy democracy in Africa and give me back my communism. The greatest fight again we have today is monogamy. When white man wanted to leave, he looked at Mr. Man and see this Mr. Man. When I met him, he has 6 wives and children. Everybody was happy and everybody was under leadership. If I allow this man will have internal family that his eyes will be fixed upon the ground. One day, he will begin to fight me. He says, no, let me push war to go into this family. Let me introduce a family system where this man will be fighting with his wife. And so the man gave us monogamy. So a monogamy, an African giant man has been transformed to a baby. So he become under vulnerable to fight with his wife. So when you have a fight to fight with your wife, will you even think to fight the colonialist? A man is an electron in a nucleus. When you study electron in a nucleus, electron is not a partner of a proton. Electron is allowed free oscillation around the nucleus because you can't. Electron is not a companion of a proton. They created the war among us. Destroy for me monogamy. Give me polygamy. The greatest criminal cult they planted is Christianity. Christianity and Islam. Mr. Preachers of faith. Christianity the protectors of irresponsibility of government. Christianity no money. All irresponsibility of government is being pushed on Satan because Satan is a symbol that sponsors irresponsibility. Join me in African Renaissance. We need the true independence. When the true independence starts, we will destroy democracy. When the true independence starts, African forged Fox nation will no longer exist because the truth is that the day the true independence happens, there will be nothing like Nigeria. Nigeria is a colonialist property. Everybody will go in their own place because in our culture, we practice unity in diversity. Igbos live as Igbos. Hausa live as Hausas. Yorubas live as Yorubas for over 2,000 years without anybody fighting. But the white man came in 1914. And from 1914 to 1960, they succeeded in creating a war that killed over 3 million Igbos because they discovered an ideology by which you can force marriage that was not supposed to exist. They called it one Nigeria. If you believe in one Nigeria, you are a joke. If you said you are working for Nigeria to become better, you are a joker. Join me in African Renaissance. Join me. We need the true independence. That true independence is the day we will destroy democracy. Once democracy is destroyed and we reenact communism, a system will select elders to rule us. The eldest man hold or fall in our village. How can the elder be there and the young boy will stand and say he want to pray? He want to say a prayer that says, I want to pray here. Who will pray for us? Who is there? We have any Reverend Father here? An elder, a 70 years old man will be sitting there and a young boy says he's a Reverend Father and come and start there to pray. Democracy Ghana, monogamy Ghana. All Western institutions will go down and it's time again for African liberation. Thank you so much.